Hello everyone. So today we are going to analyze in depth the essay paper of CSE 2025 mains. आज ही पेपर हुआ है, अभी तक आप लोगों ने पेपर भी देख लिया होगा. Congratulations to all those who have written on the hot seat. जब आप hot seat पे बैठते हो और इस तरीके से essay के चूज करना होता है टॉपिक्स को और सेलेक्ट करके उसमें जब ब्रेनस्टॉर्म करना होता है, यू नीड टू डिसाइड द आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट्स एंड एवरीथिंग, देन दैट इज द रियल गेम. बाहर से एग्जाम को एनालाइज करना, पेपर को एनालाइज करना, इट इज ऑलवेज इजी. इट इज ऑलवेज इजी टू क्रिटिसाइज और प्रेज. इजी था, मैनेज कर लेते हैं. बट इफ यू वांट टू रियली टेस्ट दोज हु हैव नॉट गिवन द एग्जाम, इफ यू वांट टू रियली टेस्ट एंड सी द हॉट सीट पे बैठना कैसा होता है, देन आई इनवाइट ऑल ऑफ यू to write this essay paper in exam like scenario and share it with us. We will evaluate it, right? So let's analyze it. So in today's exam, the essay topics, they were, as we already know, there are two sections. You have to write only two topics, one from section A, one from section B, within the word limit of 1000 to 1200. If we talk about section A topics, these are section A topics. अभी तक आप लोगों ने देखा होगा तो ये तो एनालाइज कर ही लिया होगा कि सारे टॉपिक्स फिलोसॉफिकल बेंट के हैं, फिलोसॉफिकल लीनिंग है उनकी. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड every topic, then we will discuss in depth. We will compare it with 23 paper, 24 paper, and then I will also give you a way forward which is very important for all of you, those who are preparing for coming years. Talking about the first topic, truth knows no color. सत्य कोई रंग नहीं जानता है. Truth knows no color. It is a classical timeless philosophy, timeless wisdom. We have seen old movies about truth, satya, satyameva jayate. It is a timeless wisdom which we in Indian society we know और हमें घरों में भी सिखाया जाता है. You talk about truth everywhere, आप कहीं भी. I am very sure that by looking at topics you might feel that they are heavy for you और philosophical है कैसे लिखें, but if you have done sufficient practice you would be able to manage such papers easily and you will never run short of examples. You will find examples, चाहे वो equality का example लो, discrimination का example लो, you take example of इस topic का application कहीं भी देखोगे, you find ample amount of examples. So this is a timeless wisdom that truth knows no color in terms of discrimination, equality, justice, morality, social harmony. Everywhere this code is suitable and we know the application. लेकिन आपको prove नहीं करना है, आपको argument generate करना है, counter argument generate करना है. This is what we have to keep in mind. Then honesty itself. So in that case, will we say that honesty is the best policy? Always. So such kind of arguments are known as critical arguments. Now talking about the second topic, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. The first name, Gandhi ji, non-violence, right? Other than that, this is a strategic wisdom which was given by a Chinese philosopher in 2nd century BC itself. So be it Gandhi ji or that ancient philosopher, Chinese philosopher, so it is all about strategic wisdom. It is about non-violence, it is about diplomacy, it is about conflict resolution. So again, you will find that it is a very suitable quote, again a timeless wisdom, which is there since ancient time. And ये हमें घरों में सिखाया जाता है, स्कूल में सिखाया जाता है. We come across such phrases, we come across such statements in our day-to-day life. Philosophical, but we know where all it is applicable. Talking about the third topic, thought finds a world and creates one also. It is talking about innovation, creation, the power of ideas and shaping the society. You talk about AI, you talk about all technological developments. Thoughts find a world and creates a new world as well. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality. So be it any technology or any innovation for that matter, innovation finds its own world and creates one also. The power of ideas. And ideas not only related to technology, idea related to non-violence. Non-violence was a thought which has its own followers. उनके अपने खुद लीडर थे, गांधी जी थे. So that's changed the course of the freedom struggle. So that is how you have to apply, that is how you have to generate arguments. Taking the example, generating the argument, or taking the argument and then fitting into the right example. Very sure that if you have written on these topics, or if you are thinking on these topics, you will never run short of the examples. Now the last one in section A, best lessons are learned through bitter experiences. Classical philosophy, life experiences, wisdom, ये जो हमारे जितने बड़े लोग होते हैं वो यही हमें सिखाते हैं. And it comes from the historical context as well. Resilience, historical struggles, चाहे हम अपने freedom struggle की बात करें या world history की बात करें. So the section A till now we have seen it was complete philosophical in nature, timeless wisdom. There was nothing, however, I will discuss in detail when I will compare the paper with the 2024 and 2023. But here on prima facie, what we are seeing is all the topics, they are not having any contemporary relevance. They all are philosophical in nature, and that too timeless wisdom, timeless philosophy. Now coming to section B. Section B is again full of 4 topics, and all the topics are philosophical in nature. However, at some places you will find some contemporary relevance and context. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. काफी philosophical है. But when we talk about this topic, कुछ thoughts हमारे दिमाग में चलते हैं. Those thoughts related to natural resolution, thoughts related to patience, thoughts related to governance by restraint. So ऐसे कुछ thoughts हमारे दिमाग में चलेंगे naturally, and ये depend करता है कि आप कितना सोच पाते हो. On that basis, you will be able to generate ideas. Next topic, the years teach much which the days never know. Again, a classical philosophy, timeless wisdom, where we talk about our experience, where we are talking about accumulated wisdom, accumulated knowledge. एक दिन में इंसान कुछ नहीं सीखता है, but what we learn over years, that is more impactful, more stable, right? So here we are talking about learning beyond formal education. Here we are talking about intergenerational experience, or for that matter, the value of experience. Talking about the next topic, that is the 7th topic, it is best to see life as a journey and not as a destination. जब भी हमारे ऐसे existential thoughts आते हैं and we seek and try to understand the purpose of our life, happiness, तो ये क्लासिकल फिलॉसफी है जहां हमारे घरों में भी बताया जाता है, एंड द क्लासिकल सेजेस, संत मुनियों ने भी यही बताया है दैट यू हैव टू ऑलवेज treat your life as a journey, not as a destination. All rest of the things, UPSC, IAS and everything is temporary, but you have to enjoy the journey, you have to live in the moment and you should live in the present. ये हमें बहुत बार बताया जाता है. So this is again a classical philosophy. Talking about the 8th topic, contentment is natural wealth, luxury is artificial poverty. यहाँ पे एक थोड़ा सा हमें जो टॉपिक का रेफरेंस मिलता है, वी कैन रिलेट इट विद द कंज्यूमरिज्म, मिनिमलिज्म, सस्टेनेबिलिटी. यहाँ पे आप कुछ एनवायरमेंटल एस्पेक्ट में दे सकते हो कि कंटेंटमेंट इज अ नेचुरल वेल्थ, लग्जरी इज आर्टिफिशियल पॉवर्टी. So again, this topic, if we talk about, it has a philosophical leaning, but yes, you can definitely relate it with कि अच्छा यहाँ पे कुछ एक context मिलता है because of the today's world where we are heading towards the consumerism, और ये जो भी आज की डेट में हो रहा है हम वहाँ से relate कर सकते हैं. But again, you have to think from argument point of view, not example. So both these sections, section A and section B, they were having philosophical leaning, highly philosophical, and that to classical philosophy, timeless wisdom. It is not something related to any particular topic. We will see it. We will see it with the help of 2024 paper. जब compare करेंगे तब देखना को मिलेगा. So if I summarize 2025 paper, it was having a strong philosophical and ethical orientation because it was related to our moral thought process. It is about our ethical thinking. So it was related to an individual morality as well. Strategic wisdom, war, patience and diplomacy, strategic wisdom की बात है. Life lessons and reflective things. Life lessons and reflective themes. When we are talking about life is a journey or not, muddy water, so there we are reflecting more. So it was about life lessons. And minimal and direct contemporary references were there. In nutshell, I will tell this about the essay 2025 topics. What about 2024, and if we compare it with 2023, then what should we know? 2024 topics, if you see, forest precedes civilization, the empires of the future, there is no path for happiness, happiness is path, philosophical. The doubter is a true man of science, again philosophical, but some contextual reference. Section B also, if we see, social media is triggering, nearly all men can stand adversity, all ideas have large consequences, are always simple, the cost of being wrong is less than cost of doing nothing. ठीक है, सो यहां भी एक फिलोसॉफिकल रेफरेंस था। एक बार क्विक हम रेफरेंस कंपैरेटिव एनालिसिस करते हैं 25 वर्सेस 24। So here we will see 25 versus 24. If we see 24 question paper, 24 essay paper was balance of philosophy and contemporary themes were also there. Social media, science, forest, those things were there. If we talk about 2024 paper, yes, direct references of social media, FOMO, climate change, mental health, it was there. And if ethical dimension and morality related उसका context देखें, then leadership ethics, power, simplicity and scientific doubt, scientific connotation था उसमें। यूपीएससी क्या टेस्ट कर रहा था? यूपीएससी वाज फोकसिंग ऑन इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी एप्लीकेशन ऑफ फिलॉसफी टू गवर्नेंस एंड सोसाइटी। सो फिलॉसफी को अलग अलग टॉपिक के साथ लिंक किया गया था। बेसिकली इट वाज इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी एप्लीकेशन। बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट 2025 पेपर, इट वाज प्रीडोमिनेंटली टाइमलेस क्लासिकल फिलॉसफी. Indirect references were given in one or two topics like war and diplomacy and sustainability versus luxury. These two topics only we can say that some indirect references were given. But that too, even those two topics were highly philosophical. The focus was on certain classical philosophies or values, truth, contentment, resilience, life as a journey. And here UPSC is testing your philosophical depth. UPSC is testing your ethical clarity, your clarity about such moral values, about such values, and your strategic wisdom. How over a period of time in this journey or as an individual, what kind of a strategic wisdom you have developed. And let me also tell this to you at this point of time that nowadays UPSC interview board is also asking such question: what is life? What is the meaning of life according to you? How do you see? How you have evolved? Then they are asking this meta ethics questions as well. So we have to be ready. We have to develop our thought process. So contrast is that 2024 was applied and current oriented. 25 paper is about eternal wisdom. 24 was more explicitly related to the application aspect of philosophy with certain topics, but 25 it is implicit linkage, not very direct. 24 paper we had seen governance oriented ethics. 25 it was more about personal moral compass. So UPSC in 2024 it is testing administrator philosopher. In 2025 they are testing philosopher sage, right? So this was 25 versus 24. Let's have a look at 23 versus 25. So 23 versus 25, the 23 paper was heavy on abstract. It was having literary philosophy. For example, thinking as a game, wandering, creativity, intuition versus logic. These topics were there. So there we saw mostly it was indirectly related to the contemporary. For example, justice, charity, education beyond school. एक contemporary reference जो था बहुत ही weak था. बहुत ज्यादा direct linkage नहीं हुआ था. Mostly indirect था. So थोड़ा वो 25 के पेपर की तरह था. So social ethics, societal reflection, gender roles, justice, education, we saw that such ethical values and orientations were there in 2023 paper. So in 2023, UPSC was testing your creativity, originality, metaphorical depth, your ability to think and abstract. But on the other hand, 2025 paper we have seen again timeless wisdom indirectly and philosophical clarity. So 23 में UPSC was abstract, imaginative. Here ethical and reflective. 23 में it was both. In fact, 23 and 25 paper both have avoided explicit current affairs linkage or any contemporary linkage with any topic for that matter. 23 it was having a societal lens. 25 is having more of individual, reflective and philosophical lens. So in 23, again UPSC wanted you to be an imaginative thinker, but here they want you to be a wisdom seeker, a philosopher sage, right? तो ये जो हमारे 3 ईयर की एनालिसिस हुए 23, 24 and 25, abstract, then some current philosophical but current oriented or linkage with contemporary topics, and this one, the 2025, having a complete philosophical bent. Complete philosophical leaning. Now the point is how the future aspirant should prepare for this essay paper, such essay papers. Direct topic आता है gender, democracy. आप अगर पिछले 10 years के पेपर देखोगे, that you can manage. But how about such papers where philosophical leaning is more and almost all topics are philosophical? So सबसे पहले तो practice करना ही है कुछ जनरल चीजें बताता हूं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर फॉर बोथ एक्सट्रीम्स. You have to prepare for abstract as well, philosophical, and then you have to be ready for the application topics as well, application oriented, चाहे वो philosophy का application हो या direct topics हो. So you have to be ready for both the extremes. You have to build an essay arsenal. Essay arsenal का मतलब है कि आपके पास एक कोट्स, एग्जाम्पल जो आप जीएस के लिए करते हो, कोट्स, एग्जाम्पल, केस स्टडीज, नेम्स, इंपॉर्टेंट पर्सनैलिटीज, इनका एक आर्सेनल होना ही चाहिए. आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, आई विल ऑल्सो टेल यू सेपरेटली अबाउट आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, बट यस, आर्ग्यूमेंट्स, काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट्स. सो एक एसे का पिरामिड है. इंट्रोडक्शन से कंक्लूजन तक हमें क्या क्या मेंटेन करना चाहिए, ये मैंने एसे के वीडियो में आपको स्पेशली बताया है और पुरानी वीडियोस में भी बताया है. So here we have to keep in mind that essay arsenal we should prepare from the day one. जब से भी आपको एक कॉन्सेप्ट्स पे होल्ड आ जाता है and you have written 1 or 2 essays, now you know that you should have quotes, you should have poems, anecdotes, stories, you should have collection of the case studies and example, and you don't have to be like material collector. बहुत ज़्यादा इकट्ठा नहीं कर लेना है. I always teach this in my essay class that have few quotes and few poems and try to understand that where all you can apply it. उसको अलग अलग जगह कैसे आप जोड़ सकते हैं. The beauty is not in collection, the beauty is in application. Next is practice interdisciplinary framing. आपको interdisciplinary approach रखना है. Ethics की चीजों को ऐसे में, जीएस की चीजों को एथिकल लिंकेज, फिलोसफिकल लिंकेज. सो एथिक्स, फिलोसफी, जीएस, करंट अफेयर्स, इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी फ्रेमिंग होना चाहिए. व्हेन यू आर रीडिंग अबाउट इकोनॉमी, यू शुड बी एबल टू सी इट फ्रॉम फिलोसफिकल लेंस. When you are reading about polity, you should be able to see it from ethical lens. So ethics is everywhere, philosophy is everywhere. It is just we need to develop that lens, we need to develop that perspective. We need to sharpen our structure and clarity. Structure, same introduction, body, conclusion, जो एक पिरामिड मैंने बताया है पहले, उसकी एक क्लैरिटी डेवलप करनी है कि वो पेपर में रिफ्लेक्ट हो. Then regular practice. It is indeed very important because ऐसे जब questions आते हैं and you have not practiced the philosophical essays, you have not practiced and you have just practiced direct GDP versus gross national happiness and ऐसे topics पे जब आप prepare करते हो, women, democracy, then ऐसे topics को आप handle नहीं कर पाओगे. So you need to practice philosophical. So make yourself comfortable. If you are saying that I'm not comfortable with philosophical topics, then you cannot escape. This is what UPSC is testing. This is how UPSC wants such reflective leaders for the country. But क्या ऐसा करने से हो जाएगा? क्योंकि क्वेश्चन के जो नेचर है, टॉपिक्स के जो नेचर है, वो तो फिलोसफिकल है. अब ये फिलोसफिकल टॉपिक्स के लिए कैसे रेडी हुआ जाए? So how to develop this philosophical mindset? Definitely I'm going to guide you. But while I was preparing this slides for you, I got this message from one of my student who is my ethics class student. Contempt is natural wealth. Luxury is artificial poverty. Today's essay topic, sir. I remember during ethics class while teaching philosophical portion, you had good discussion in class. So indeed, our students, they have got benefited. And I was very happy to see this message. You know why? Because this was my first point. Prepare GS4 thoroughly. Think, discuss, develop ethical perspective. And especially in GS paper 4, in ethics paper, we have this moral thinkers and philosophers from India and from world. You have to prepare, you have to take that whole unit very seriously because it is more about, we read about Aristotle, Plato, we read about Socrates, happiness, art and different values, courage. बहुत सारे values के बारे में हम पढ़ते हैं. Philosophy. So those philosophy, social justice, Vivekanand, Gandhi ji, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, we read their philosophy. We read what values we learn from our Ramayana, Mahabharata. So we have to be ready. So prepare GS4 thoroughly. Right from Unit 1 till Unit 8, case studies, you have to be thorough. There we collect a lot of philosophical quotes. That also helps us in developing this perspective of analyzing the things, analyzing the topics, analyzing the issues from philosophy point of view, right? So this is the first thing which I would request all of you, that you take your GS paper 4 very, very seriously. Talking about second one, think more and apply knowledge. Whatever you are learning, be it in GS paper 4 or let's say you are coming across any quotation or you are reading whatever, wherever, you should think over it, you should apply that knowledge. You should not just mug up it from exam point of view. UPSC is demanding nation builders. UPSC is selecting nation builders. तो इस नेशन बिल्डर को जो है सिर्फ इधर नॉलेज नहीं होनी चाहिए, उसके कैरेक्टर में नॉलेज रिफ्लेक्ट होनी चाहिए. Talking about other things, you have to read widely and deeply. Simply don't read the NCERTs and the standard books, because when we come to UPSC preparation, we close ourselves, we will be in shell. Then the window to the outside world is current affairs, yes, but also the other books which are not related to your syllabus. You read biographies, read about the philosophical books, read about books and topics or the articles which are triggering your thought process, analyzing the world from philosophical lens. So you should read more such books widely and deeply as well. Mindset training is very important, and I'm glad that this mindset training, we are the first institute in the country to have this in our training on daily basis. On daily basis, we have 5 AM Falcon Club where we do this mindset training, where we learn about contentment, we learn about patience, we learn about many such values which UPSC is testing, and we build those qualities in our students. So for that, mindset training is important. So you need to do this mindset training. जब आप अपना mindset training करते हो, ये philosophy easy लगने लगती है, life की philosophy easy लगने लगती है. You start building upon those qualities, values. Build an argument bank. Whenever you are coming across any topic, let's say such philosophies, like honesty is the best policy, simple one. Kindness give birth to kindness. ये सारे simple जो topic हैं, ये philosophies जो हैं, honesty is the best policy, then you should have argument back. Why honesty is the best policy? Have counter arguments as well. That why honesty is the best policy always. Is it so? No, honesty is not the best policy always. Right? So you need to have your argument banks on such philosophical topics. And whenever you are coming across any quote, you give it a thought कि अच्छा ये बात सही है कि गलत है, and think from both point of view. Whenever you are analyzing, you should have this point is very important. Practice the art of antithesis, means placing opposing arguments side by side. If you are saying honesty is the best policy, then you should also tell why honesty is not the best policy, because you have to think from both the points. As a civil servant, you will have to be objective, and objectivity comes when we analyze the same thing from both the dimensions, both sides. And GS में तो हम बहुत बार करते हैं critical analysis, अब ये philosophical topics को लेके भी हमें करना चाहिए. Read the Hindu and Indian Express editorials. Most of the time we are run behind the compilations from GS point of view. But when you read editorials, you develop this art of placing your arguments and substantiating it with the examples. And when you read arguments, you are indirectly learning about essay writing. So see their style, the way they are presenting the argument, they are justifying it, then they are building a context to it, then how they are giving introduction, how they are concluding, how they are placing the counter arguments. Sometimes the same topic has been written in a negative manner. One writer has written all negative things about it in one editorial, but on the other hand, you will find some writer has praised only good things about it. So that is how you learn the art of developing arguments and counter arguments. So reading the editorials of the Hindu and Indian Express is must for you. That way you will develop the philosophical mindset. Write 300-word reflective blogs or articles weekly on one idea. You take any one idea, philosophical ideas. Don't take women, don't take the GS type topics, don't take those topics. You take any philosophical idea, life. You take truth, relations, humanity, nature, the relationship between the man and nature. Think everything from philosophy point of view and write these reflective blogs, reflective articles, journaling. It will help you. And this already I have told. Additionally, you should practice abstract to concrete linking. कैसे ये करना चाहिए abstract philosophy, उसको concrete linking कैसे करना चाहिए? For example, let's take an abstract quote. Truth knows no color. So how you should practice? You should practice around these dimensions, let's say ethical dimension. So you should link with universal moral values. You should link with social aspects like equality and anti-discrimination. You should link with the arguments like rule of law, constitutionalism, historical, civil rights movement, Gandhi ji. So that way you have to link at every level. You have to link at personal level as well. Integrity in the leadership. So this is how you should generate dimensions. And when you are writing dimension, I have already told you that you don't have to write socially, economically, politically. You should not write, but you should take the help of those dimensions to generate arguments. राइट? तो ये प्रैक्टिस करो, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट जो फिलॉसफी है उसको कैसे कंक्रीट लिंकेज किया जाए. दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस. नाउ गोइंग फॉरवर्ड, योर नेक्स्ट 2 steps should be you read 2 pages daily from any philosophy, literature or any book which is not UPSC book and little bit philosophical. ऐसी कोई fiction या कोई novel ऐसे in general नहीं, reflective थोड़ा पढ़ना हमें जरूरी है. So just read 2 pages and think and reflect on that. And most importantly, write monthly 2 essays, send to us, we will evaluate it. So remember one thing, that essay is not about encyclopedia, it is not about Wikipedia. आपको knowledge अपनी नहीं दिखानी है. UPSC is not testing your factual knowledge. UPSC is looking for reflective leaders. So become one such reflective leader. You should be able to have depth when you are thinking. You should not have a shallow thought process. कोई भी टॉपिक पे आपकी रिफ्लेक्टिव थिंकिंग होनी चाहिए. बस आर्ग्यूमेंट सेक से या लिखने के लिए आपको नॉलेज नहीं होनी चाहिए. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज द डिमांड ऑफ प्रेजेंट डे 2025. और आने वाली जो हमारी जनरेशन है, ये आने वाली जो सिविल सर्वेंट्स की जनरेशन है, ऐसे सिविल सर्वेंट्स की जरूरत है कंट्री को. सो यू नीड टू डेवलप योर reflective thought process as well, and that should be reflected in your personality, because this UPSC again, it is testing the same things at interview level as well. So see you all the best. If you find any problem, please approach us, write the essays and send it to us. We will evaluate it. All the best.